All right, welcome back to the In the Huddle podcast. I'm your host, Sam Gold. Today's video, we're going to do another tier list. I know you guys really like those. This time, we're going to be ranking NFL fan bases. So, look, Super Bowls was mostly objective. I mean, look, tier lists in general are subjective. But that one was a lot easier. What was the second one I did? Stadiums. Okay, that's a little more subjective. This one, however, is going to get a lot of people pissed off because it's... I can't possibly make this not subjective. I'm a Chiefs fan. So you got to put that in mind, that I'm going to be ranking fan bases from that perspective. So already apologizing to Raiders, Broncos fans, stuff like that. Look, there's some fan bases that are universally loved. There's some that are universally hated. So that's definitely going to be weighed. I would say I'm going to rank it based on loyalty, passion. But then there's fan bases that are loyal and passionate that are assholes. So this is going to be really interesting to see what happens. And look, before you come running to me, I know, look, this is just subjective. This is my opinion, okay? So don't hate me for it. I know there's going to be people in the comment section, there's going to be Jaguars fans that are like, look, man, I know a lot of people don't know it, but we're the most passionate fan base out there. We're the most loyal. Like, I get it. There's good, loyal, passionate people in every single fan base. I understand that. But this is just my opinion as a whole. So here we go. Let's start with the Chicago Bears. This is a pretty actually random order. I guess it's not really ordered anywhere. So we'll start with the Bears. And here's the tier list, by the way, before we start. So top is amazing. I just hit the mic. Amazing. Second is pleasant. Third is middle of the road. Fourth is these fans just don't exist. And then fifth is just for the bottom, toxic and miserable. So there we go. All right, so let's start with the Bears. And I feel like this is the perfect team to start with because they are a mixture of loyal because... I mean, Chicago is already, one of the biggest cities in the world. The Bears they're one of the most historic franchises in the NFL. They probably have one of the highest populated fan bases. And you do hear a lot of complaining about them, rightfully so. But I also don't feel like I hear a lot from Bears fans. So I think this is the perfect team to start with because I'm going to put them right in the middle of the road. Let's go Jaguars. Now, I just made fun of Jaguars fans for them being the fan base that comes into the comment section, argues with me, because I'm going to put them in the doesn't exist here. Now, by doesn't exist, I'm not an idiot. I know that every fan base has at least millions and millions of followers. I get it, and fans. But compared to other fan bases I bet you 75% of people do not know a Jaguars fan, at least, that watch football. So, they're in doesn't exist. Steelers, I have them as my background, which means I got to put them... Now, Bengals fans, Brown fans, Ravens fans are going to hate me for this. There's a saying, everybody's dad is a Steelers fan. They're probably the most popular team other than the Cowboys to be a fan of in the NFL. They're one of the most storied and successful franchises. I would say they travel the best out of any franchise in the NFL. I've been to multiple games where the Steelers are the away team, and every single time it's a 50-50 split at least with Steelers fans and then the home team fan base. So they travel really well. They're extremely passionate. I got to put them in amazing. Even if, your Bengals fans, your Browns fans, they don't like them. Of course they're not going to. That's the thing with this tier list. Like, there's going to be teams in amazing that people are like, no, those fans suck. But look, from my perspective, I'm putting the Steelers at amazing. Now, Bills. Everyone's like, yeah, Bills automatically amazing. Now, this is where my Chiefs fandom comes into play here. Because Bills fans, I've said this before, they're still up there, of course. I mean, it's so much fun. They're the best tailgaters in the NFL. They're extremely loyal. They got jumping through tables. I think they're one of the drunkest fan bases in the NFL. So that's a lot of fun. I don't hate Bills fans by any means at all. But look, we're rivals with them. And it's so much fun being rivals. But I can't help but feel like... Look, I'm going to put them in amazing. I'm sorry. I was thinking pleasant just because they've been very whiny over the last few years. And they're pretty cocky for a team that still hasn't made the Super Bowl with Josh Allen. So that part of it really annoys me as a Chiefs fan. But I'll give them their dues. I'll put them at amazing for now. But they could definitely be pleasant. Chargers, I mean, this is like the obvious meme that everyone says. And it's true. I really have not met many Chargers fans at all. I'm sorry, I'm gonna have to put them at doesn't exist. I'm sorry. Same with Rams. Now, Rams are a little bit better. I'm going to put them at the top of doesn't exist because, I'm on Reddit, I'm on social media. There's passionate Rams fans out there, but just the fact that they're in LA now makes it feel like when they're playing a home game that there's less of them, even though a lot of them are still out there in St. Louis and they're passionate, but I'll put them at doesn't exist just because they moved to LA, and it feels like those games are just a big corporate event these days, anytime a game is held in SoFi Stadium. Saints fans. Now, this is a tough one because as a Chiefs fan, I really don't mind Saints fans at all, but I know that they're up there. I've heard it from different, rival fan bases of the Saints that they're up there for one of the most toxic, miserable fan bases. Now, miserable, I'll give them that. I mean, other than 2010 and a few good years before their playoff, heartbreaks, they have every right to be miserable. They're passionate, though. They're passionate, and I'm going to save toxic and miserable, maybe for just a couple fan bases. It's tough because the second tier I put is pleasant. I wouldn't say Saints fans are pleasant, but they're passionate. So I'm gonna put them. Just know that pleasant doesn't mean they're all great people, but they are passionate. They're number 2 tier. I'm sorry. Giants, I'm putting middle of the road. I'll put it above Bears for that New York City, population boost. I'll give them that. Giants fans, look. We're in North Jersey right now. I've been to a million Giants games. Most of the people I know are Giants or Jets fans. I've been to a million Giants games where I'm surrounded by Giants fans. And I feel like, they're a pretty good enough franchise where, they're not too upset, every single Sunday. Now, I know they've been struggling throughout the last 10 years at this point. But, I don't know. I don't really have a problem with Giants fans. Especially within that division. They're probably the 3rd most annoying fan base. So I'll put them right at the middle. Colts fans don't exist. They just don't exist. I know Lucas Oil's packed on Sundays, but let's be real. I mean, does anybody know the real opinion of a Colts fan? Like, I just feel like the Colts don't exist unless I go see a game there live. They're just not a real team. That's not true. I mean, they literally just had Andrew Luck and Peyton Manning, and they were one of the best teams in the NFL for most of my childhood. So I don't even know why I just said that, but for right now in 2024, they don't exist. Panthers do not exist. They existed in 2015, when Steph Curry was coming out there banging on the drum, Cam Newton was dabbing everywhere. But, I mean, let's be real. I was telling Alessandro this earlier. Does anybody, is there a kid out there that lives in North Carolina that's like, Dad, can we please go to Bank of America Stadium? Please, I gotta see this Panthers. I have to. I'm sorry, Panthers fans. I know you're out there, and I know you're actually pretty loyal because you've been going through some tough times after Cam Newton. Absolutely, it's just not been good. But, no, the Panthers, they're just one of those teams. They're a filler team right now, as I would say. Okay, Broncos. Now, they're my least favorite team in the NFL. I would say they're annoying, of course, as a Chiefs fan. But you cannot deny that the Broncos are one of the most passionate fan bases in the NFL. And it's not even close. It really is not. They packed the stadium. I think they have the highest attendance rate in the NFL, I want to say. They're up there. I think it's them and, the Vikings. And you know what? They have a storied franchise. As much as I hate the Broncos, you got to give it to them. And you know what? I'll give them this over the Raiders, which where I'm going to put the Raiders. I have to put the Raiders in the bottom tier as a Chiefs fan. I will say this about the Broncos. Between us, it's more of a fun rivalry. Raiders fans, and I'll just rank Raiders fans now. I'll put them last. Raiders fans, man, they're just unreasonable. They're just trolls for no reason. Most of them are in jail at this point. I don't know. They're just scum of the earth fans. Those Raiders fans. I'm sick of Raiders fans. So just for that, Broncos fans, I can't put you higher than middle of the road just because we're rivals. But listen, me as a Chiefs fan, putting you at middle of the road is basically putting you at top tier. So just know that. All right. I have respect for you guys, but I can't put you any higher than 3rd tier just because that's how it works. Packers fans. Ooh, do I even put them above Steelers fans? I think I do, just for the pure fact, and I know Bears fans and Vikings fans are not going to agree, but for the most part, outside of that division, you're going to Lambeau. They're the nicest people ever. I'm pretty sure they let you, the people that live in the surrounding area of Green Bay in the suburbs, they let you park their car, on game day, in front of their house. If they have space, they're like, go ahead, yeah, park, go have fun, watch the game. If you can't find parking, no worries. We got you with our house. And I don't know, those people from the Midwest, they're super loyal and, one of the biggest fan bases in the NFL for such a small city. The city owns the team. That's one of the coolest things ever. So yeah, I'm going to put Packers at the top here. Perfect. What a discrepancy here between the Packers and this next team. We're going to go with the Philadelphia Eagles. There's a reason in 2021 that I chose to drive an extra 2.5 hours to go see Chiefs at Washington instead of Chiefs at Philly, because I'm just not risking going in that stadium as an opposing fan. I'm just not. Because people can be like, oh, you're overreacting. That's just the Philly attitude. No, there's videos of people getting harassed. Kids getting harassed. People getting snowballs thrown at them. Like, horrible things. Getting in fights, heckling. It's just nonstop with Eagles fans. They are literally the worst fan base in the NFL. If they win the Super Bowl, they completely destroy the city. If they lose the Super Bowl, they completely destroy the city. They're just absolute animals. So I'm sorry, Philly fans. I know... Look, I work with Philly fans. I know a lot of Philly fans. They're nice. A lot of them are nice people, but if you're going look, the majority of NFL fans are nice people. But if you're going percentages of fan bases, Philly definitely is the highest percentage of just complete assholes as their fans. Just crazy people. Look, I will not knock their passion. They're extremely passionate and they're loyal. I'll give them that. But they're just too toxic and crazy to put not at last. I'm sorry. Now I really can't go as a Chiefs fan to any Eagles game after this video. Titans fans absolutely don't exist. What is that? And there we go. That's what I get for talking shit about Phillies fans. There's probably some ghost of Philadelphia flickering a light here. Where were we? All right, Tennessee Titans fans do not exist. Oilers fans existed, but Tennessee Titans fans, I've never ever met a Titans fan. I'll put them above Jacksonville, I guess. Chiefs fans. Now, look, before I give you my obvious biased opinion, because you know I'm going to put them at the top, I would say Chiefs fans, completely unbiased. All right, let's take out the last 5 years, because yes, with the dynasty, it's going to come bandwagoners. I know now all the Swifties have come up, so a lot of you guys are like, Chiefs fans last. I understand that. That's fine. But you're going let's go to the Chiefs fan base from 2018 and back. And all those people that have now stayed throughout the 5 years, of course. Let's talk about them, because they not only broke the record for the loudest fan base in the NFL, they still to this day, no matter what, have one of the best tailgates in the NFL. They're one of the most passionate fan base in the NFL. Going to Arrowhead is one of the best environments in the NFL. I mean, I went to Arrowhead. They're some of the nicest people in the world. I mean, it couldn't have happened to one of the better fan bases in the NFL to have a dynasty. I mean, people from Boston. I mean, you go talk to people from Boston, they're crazy. I mean, we're from the Midwest. We're nice. You know, we're going to have you, come over here, have some barbecue with us. We'll have some friendly banter, Chiefs fans have stuck around throughout those days of, not only just in the 21st century, Tyler Thigpen, Brady Quinn, Brody Croyle, Tyler Palco. I mean, you go back to the 70s and 80s, just that horrible time right before Joe Montana, and then we had to witness so many heartbreaks. I meant we as Chiefs fans. Obviously, I wasn't around in the 90s, but, so many heartbreaks of the 90s and then in the 2000s of so many bad playoff losses, and we've still stuck around to this day. The horrible season of 2012. Just, look, I'm going to obviously put the Chiefs fans at number one just because I'm a Chiefs fan. But genuinely, I think they go at least pleasant. I really do. I think they're up there, top 10 fan base in the NFL. Atlanta Falcons, I'm going to put them in the middle of the road. I'll put them above Bears, though, just because they have to suffer 28-3, being reminded every single time. They probably go up to somebody and they're like, hey, I'm a Falcons fan. Nice to meet you. Oh, 28-3. Like, I feel bad for Falcons fans. I genuinely do. They got a 6 stadium, so I really hope the Falcons can get a little bit better because, man, are they wasting that nice stadium by providing that team for those fans in that stadium. So, but look, Falcons fans, you don't hear from them a lot. I was contemplating doesn't exist, but just for the pure fact that they had to suffer through 28-3, and they're still fans of this team, you got to put them at least above there. Seahawks fans, I'm gonna go with the second tier here. Also contemplating amazing, but I'm gonna put them a little bit behind because unlike the Chiefs, they didn't have that type of fan base before the Legion of Boom. Like, if you really want to go bandwagon, that was like the textbook definition of tons of bandwagon fans was during that time. But overall, they're still second loudest fan base in the NFL. 6 stadium. I really haven't heard anything bad of Seahawks fans. Like, I feel like they're nice people up there in Seattle. So I'm gonna put them in pleasant. Okay, this one's interesting. Patriots fans. If this was 5 years ago, they're going last easy. I went to Gillette, and maybe this is just because they're so satisfied. They're so full with so much amazing football behind them that they didn't even feel like heckling me. You know what I mean? Like, they were just so nice at Gillette Stadium when I went for Chiefs-Patriots this past season. But I'm sorry. I just have to put you guys... I'll put you guys above Raiders and Eagles, but it just feels like at this point, if you're going a whole consensus of the NFL, Patriots fans, and this is going to happen with Chiefs fans. Look, if I wasn't a Chiefs fan, I'm sure they would be last too, because everyone's putting them last at this point. But that's how the consensus goes when your team's a dynasty. Like, yeah, you're gonna be last, and that stink isn't gonna wear off for a long time. So I'm sorry. I don't really know where I'd put you guys, but I'm gonna put you last just because that's the stink of the Patriots right now. I'm sorry. Lions fans. Now, if I wasn't a Chiefs fan, they would legit go at number 1. Obviously, I'm gonna keep the Chiefs at 1, but they're a solid number 2. If I wasn't a Chiefs fan, they'd be number 1. Lions fans, I mean, you talk about one of the most loyal fan bases in the NFL. You saw people literally crying in the stands when they finally won their first playoff game in over 30 years this past season. Like, these are one of those fan bases where everybody's rooting for them. Even Packers, Vikings, and Bears fans are like, look, if there's any one of our rivals to win a Super Bowl and I'd be happy for them, it's the Lions. They've gone through arguably the most pain out of any other fan base. They've stuck through. They're so passionate. I mean, you know, they use the phrase, what is it? The Detroit, oh my gosh. Same old Lions, same old Lions. They use that phrase just to get through the pain, and like, you know, they could use that and just be fucking screaming at everybody and be miserable. But no, they come every single season. They love their team. That's a Lions fan right there. One of the best fan bases in the NFL for sure. Now the Browns. This one is controversial because, I mean, yes, super loyal, of course. The fact that anybody can even withstand being a Browns fan, I salute you. You know, there's a few bad apples in there for the people that support Deshaun Watson. Now, obviously, you can support the Browns as a Browns fan without supporting Deshaun Watson. But there's those people with those t-shirts, man, and the massage things outside the tailgate. That was a really bad look this last 2 seasons, so I don't love that for Browns fans. But also, you guys have been through a lot, so it feels like with that discrepancy of the 2 things I just said there, I'll put you smack dab in the middle of the road. If it was before Deshaun Watson, maybe I'd put you in pleasant, but I'll put you in top and middle of the road. How about that? Vikings fans, amazing. Top tier. I'm gonna go third, honestly, just because of the heartbreak that they've endured that the Packers and Steelers have not. I mean, we got Al right here. He's a Vikings fan. I mean, my brother's a Vikings fan. They got a cool skull chant that I'm sure Packers, Bears, and Lions fans think is cringe, but I think is cool. I think their stadium atmosphere is amazing. One of the best attendance rates, like I just mentioned earlier. I think they have over 100% attendance rate of their stadium. One of the sickest stadiums in the NFL. Super loyal fan base. I mean, think about it. They're probably the best NFL franchise to never win a Super Bowl. I think they have the best win percentage for a franchise to not win a Super Bowl. They've been to tons of championship games. So many terrible, heartbreaking losses in the playoffs. And they still stick around and they do that skull chant and they have a great attendance rate. So you got to put them up there. Dolphins fans. Middle. I'm going to put them at bottom of middle of the road because they're pretty fair weather. They exist. Especially back in those Dan Marino days or the days of the 70s when they went undefeated. Though, you know, those were the heydays of the Dolphins. Nowadays, you know, they get out there. But look, I was at the first game of the 2019 season when Ryan Fitzpatrick was the starter. I was at Ravens-Dolphins, and the first drive where they went up 7-0 within like the first 2 minutes, the Ravens went up 7-0. No joke, 20% of the stadium gone already. And, I just saw that and I was like, wow, all right. I mean, yes, you know your team's going to suck that season. It's been going around the whole offseason like, we got to suck this year. We got to tank for Tua, blah, blah, blah. But, I mean, come on, man. You get to watch a nice football game in 80-degree weather. Have some fun. Relax. Watch the game. Everyone's leaving already. I don't know. That just gave me a bad taste in my mouth. Cowboys fans, I'll put you at toxic and miserable. I feel bad because now they've just become the laughingstock where it's like, all right, we get it. Like, they've been shitty for 30 years. I don't have anything against Cowboys fans. As a Chiefs fan, like, we don't really play each other that often. I know Mahomes is a Cowboys fan. I don't know. I mean, yeah, you're the laughingstock in the NFL. We already know this. I don't want to beat a dead horse here. Like, everybody hates Cowboys fans. I personally don't hate them, but kind of like with the Patriots, like, they're just one of those universally hated teams and fan bases that people make fun of. So I feel like I have to kind of just put them last, or in the last tier. That's like one of my objective ratings out of this. Oh gosh, Washington. And they have the football team logo in this, but they're the Commanders. I went to a Commanders game, but I feel like I have to put them in don't exist. I'm sorry. I'll put them in between the Rams and the Titans. They do exist. They do exist. 100% they do. But I feel like I can't even put them in the middle of the road because they're such an irrelevant franchise right now. And I don't know. When I went to the game, it was kind of similar to the Dolphins. Like, they were winning at halftime when it was Chiefs-Washington. And it felt like half the stadium was empty. And this was only in week 6. This is October. The season wasn't over yet. So I don't know. I feel like I got to put them down there. Bucks fans. They're actually very loyal, Bucks fans. I know a couple Bucks fans. You know, they don't often do good ever, except for the 2 years that they won the Super Bowl and one other year with Brady, and then this past season. I feel like for the most part, Bucks fans have had it tough. I'll put them in middle of the road. I'll put them, right between Giants and Falcons fans. You know, it's a nice stadium. You get to, got that sick pirate ship, but yeah, I don't know. Bengals fans, for any Chiefs fans listening, this is going to be controversial because you guys are going to want me to put them toxic and miserable. And yes, a lot of Bengals fans are miserable, but just for the pure fact that I grew up with my dad, who's a diehard Bengals fan. I know how much pain he's been through. I'm putting them at least at pleasant. I'll put them at the bottom of pleasant. But they're up there for a very, very... I actually don't know how loyal they are. But I'm sorry. I mean, look, this is my personal opinion. I'm just going to have to put them in the second row just because of me and my dad growing up watching the Bengals. If it's not the Chiefs who are going to win the Super Bowl this year, I'm hoping it's the Bengals. I really do. And that's probably the only time a Chiefs fan has ever said that in 2024. 49ers fans, toxic and miserable. I'll put them between the Patriots and the Cowboys. Now, I have a lot of respect for the franchise. One of the most successful franchises in the NFL. I will argue, though, I don't think 49ers fans are as loyal as most people think. I know they got the whole thing, bang bang Niner gang, which is such a stupid phrase. But they're the Raiders fans of the NFC. And Rams, Seahawks, Cardinals fans, you know what I'm talking about. They're not a lot of them are not good people. I'm sorry, they're just not. Texans fans don't exist, that's for sure. Yeah, I'll put them between Jags and Panthers. You know what? They're so irrelevant that I'm not even going to waste any more time on them. Ravens fans, toxic and miserable. I'll put them at the top. They're a little less sufferable than these other franchises that I put down here. But Ravens fans, a lot of people don't talk about it enough. There's another reason. I'm not going as an opposing fan at a Ravens game either. They're scary people. Like they're a lot of them are fucking assholes, dude. They complain. They're whiny. Like, they're rather one way on Lamar or the other way. They're rather defending him to their death, being like, how dare you say he's not the best quarterback in the NFL? And then the other half's like, Lamar sucks. He's not going to ever do anything with us. I don't know. I just feel like they're just super whiny. I don't know. Some with Ravens fans. Cardinals fans don't exist. Okay, and then Jets fans. You know, Al, I want to hear your opinion because here's the thing. Also, they share a stadium with the Giants. I've been to a shit ton of Jets games. But I will say they heckle a lot more than Giants fans. They're a lot more drunk than Giants fans. But, man, are they some of the most loyal fans in the NFL. You can't deny it. I mean, where do you think I should rank them? I'm not going to put them in toxic because they've been through too much. They obviously don't exist. Where should I put Jets fans?
Think about Fireman Ed when you think about this. I'll put a picture of him up right now.
Yeah.
He is at every single game. He's sitting
Yeah.
at the top of the stadium. He goes Jets, Jets, and 60,000 people are like, all right, he's my guy.
You know what?
Just think about him in that seat.
You know what? I'm going to put them at amazing.
Right.
I'm going to put them at the bottom of amazing. Right. But just for the pure fact that you were looking at, I know Rodgers got hurt, but did you see the scene of that week 1 game, Monday Night Football? After all the pain these fans have went through. Look how packed that stadium was. Look how sick that atmosphere was. Even the Chiefs-Jets game I went to. I've never seen a game that rowdy and crowded in my entire life. They can get a little rowdy.
For sure.
I've been to some of those games. Some of them are whatever. But overall, for the amount of shit they've went through, man, and just going to those Jets games, and they're very loyal. I got to put them in amazing. So there you go. That's your tier list. Your top tier consists of Chiefs, Lions, Vikings, Packers, Steelers, Bills, and Jets fans. Your second tier is Saints, Seahawks, and Bengals fans. Your middle tier, Browns, Broncos, Giants, Bucks, Falcons, Bears, and Dolphins. Your doesn't exist tier is actually the most crowded tier. Colts, Rams, Commanders, Titans, Jaguars, Texans, Panthers, Cardinals, and Chargers. And then your toxic, miserable, bottom of the barrel fan bases. Ravens, Patriots, 49ers, Cowboys, Raiders, and Eagles. So there you go, guys. That's your tier list of NFL fan bases. Comment down below what you think I should change about this list. Where do you think your team should land on this tier list? So thank you guys for listening. Come back next week for another brand new video of the In the Huddle podcast. See you then.